What's up guys, it's Salvaje. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what are going to be two of my possible loadouts for the boom bow in Fortnite Save the World. When you complete all of the 14 days of summer for the 14 days of summer quest line, you're going to be able to obtain the boom bow. Now, if you want information on how the quest line is going to work, the damage that the boom bow is going to be providing, the stats of the boom bow, etc, etc, everything that you need to know about the boom bow so far is going to be linked in the description below on a video that I made. Hopefully I don't forget to put the video on there. But yeah, let's go over some of the possible loadouts that are going to be really good with the boom bow. So, hear me out on this one. Chromium Ramirez. You know, why would I put Chromium Ramirez on the support slot? That's, you know, what some of you guys might be asking yourselves. Well, the boom bow is only going to have one quote-unquote bullet in the magazine, or one arrow in the bow, I guess. And when Chromium Ramirez reloads a weapon with an empty magazine, she reloads it 50% faster. Okay, so long story short, with Chromium Ramirez, you're going to be able to shoot your boom bow extremely quickly, even if, of course, you are fully charging it up, because your arrow is going to go into the bow like really fast. Now, if you're mediumly charging it up, I guess you could say, you're going to be able to shoot even faster. And if you're just shooting the bow at like close range by barely charging it up, you're going to be able to dish out a lot of DPS and damage to husks that are sort of overwhelming you. My idea with this loadout is to sort of focus on some medium and close range engagements, I guess you could say. We have preemptive strike because we want to be getting as much damage as possible on full health targets. Basically, we want to delete the basic husk and husky husk as fast as possible. And of course, for each of the heroes that we have that are of epic rarity or higher with at least 4 stars, we're going to be getting 6.5% more damage against full health enemies. In other words, that's going to be around 32% more damage, somewhere around there. That's some rough math, by the way. For the support team, I have this lady, Redline Ramirez. I actually have to level her up. I didn't level her up back in the day because she used to be a shotgun hero, but we got Redline Ramirez. She's going to be increasing our sniper damage by 17%. The boom bow is classified as a sniper, so she's pretty much a must-have, obviously. Then we have Rabbit Raider Jonesy. Now, my theory behind putting Rabbit Raider Jonesy on this slot is that since you're going to be able to shoot the boom bow really quickly, that means you're going to be able to get some critical damage arrows from time to time pretty frequently. But quite honestly, I don't feel like I'm going to go for a critical rating, critical damage build on the boom bow, because the boom bow has 10% critical rating by, you know, it has a base 10% critical hit rating. So that means when you have it on legendary, it's going to be a 38% chance of getting a critical damage arrow. Now, yes, the boom bow, if you mediumly charge it up and you reload it really quickly, you're going to be able to shoot a lot of arrows. But at the same time, I think maybe that might not be the case, right? Because maybe it's best to go for an overall damage build. That's why I'm really looking forward to the boom bow, because I also want to test out a lot of things from it. But yeah, long story short, whatever, I have Rabbit Raider Jonesy on here for the critical damage that the arrows are going to be providing. But I was also thinking of putting this lady. So yeah, I was also thinking of putting this lady, Colonel Wildcat. She's going to be decreasing my Warcry cooldown by 17%. And basically the reason why I want her on this slot is because like that I can get Warcry very frequently. And I can buff my teammates, as well as of course buff the damage that the boom bow arrows are already going to be doing. Which is why I have Steel Wool Carlos. Every elimination that I get with Warcry is going to be extending my Warcry duration for a maximum of 15 elims. So long story short, that's gonna mean that my boom bow is gonna be able to dish out massive amounts of damage for a long period of time. That's why we also have explosive rounds, because every 6 ranged weapon elims, we get the explosive round AoE damage, and it's a one tile. It has a 1 tile radius, so that's gonna be really good as well. Hopefully the boom bow explosive damage is separately from the actual individual damage that the bow has. So in other words, we're going to be doing a lot of splash damage with the boom bow, and the explosive rounds is going to make it even better. And the fact that our Warcry is going to be able to make that impact and explosive damage that the boom bow has even more powerful means that we're going to be able to clear out a lot of husk very quickly. A lot of basic husk, a lot of husky husk. And at the high levels of play, that's really important, right? Specifically at the 128 plus missions, right? Where you have a lot of husks sort of overwhelming you, and you need a weapon that is really valuable at doing a lot of AoE. That isn't the Santa's Little Helper, of course. Anyways, up next we have the Scope Range Ramirez. After reloading, increases weapon damage by 15% for 5 seconds. That's pretty obvious, you know. We just want that extra damage after we reload, and we're going to be reloading with the boom bow very quickly. If you guys would change this loadout, tell me how you would change it in the comment sections below, and I don't know, maybe give me some in-depth information like that. I can have like a really good perfect loadout when the boom bow comes out. I have one more loadout to share with you guys with the boom bow. It's going to be Rex Jonesy with the Blast from the Past perk. Now, Sorry and Might, it's going to be adding 9% of our current health to the damage of our ranged weapon. The boom bow counts as a ranged weapon. So in other words, we're going to be able to do a lot of damage with the boom bow if we have the homie Rex Jonesy in the primary slot. We have Sorry and Hide. The reason why we have, I believe this is going to be around 40% damage resistance, 36, somewhere around there. The reason why we have Sorry and Hide is because sometimes we're going to be in situations where we are at the close ranges, right? And maybe we're a bit overwhelmed by a lot of husk. So that's why we're going to be using Sorry and Hide. It's going to be for when the husk are on the objective, because I just want to point out, like I said, this loadout right here sort of going to be medium to close-ish ranges, right? But this loadout right here with Rex Jonesy, since the boom bow doesn't have a damage drop-off, this is going to be a long-range, medium-range loadout for the boom bow. And of course, if we get at close range, we're going to be able to have that extra damage resistance, because we need the damage resistance because we don't have any heals, as you guys can see in this loadout at all. We have Sorry and Claws because, well, having Fossil Southie would kind of be a waste, right? I just want Sorry and Claws also because maybe I want to, what's this thing called? I want to maybe pull out my Spectral Blade. Locked and Loaded is pretty obvious why we have it there as well. You know, we're going to be reloading the bow, so obviously, you know, we want to be getting that 15% damage buff after we reload it. We have Quick Scope for the extra damage on the bow, and then of course we have Explosive Rounds because, again, this is going to be sort of like a long range type loadout. So my idea behind putting explosive rounds in the loadout is that since we're going to be firing it sort of like at the long ranges, sometimes we want to use that 6th arrow to sort of you know, shoot it where there's a lot of husk around so that we can do as much AoE damage as possible. Ideally, I was also thinking maybe we want to shoot the 6th arrow into a husky husk that's surrounded by a lot of regular basic husk, and that's going to be really helpful as well. We have Stationary Hover Turret just because if we're getting overwhelmed at the close ranges, the hover turret's going to get the job done. It's going to help us out. It's going to maybe watch a couple of spawn, kill a couple of husks while we're dealing with the mini boss, etc. And then this last one right here, it depends, right? Because the slow field is a little bit bugged maybe. You know, sometimes you can't see through it even though you're not actually standing on it. So I was thinking you put the slow field into an area that has a lot of traffic, and then you just concentrate that area with constant fire with the boom bow, and that's going to be really helpful, right? And I was also thinking, you know, maybe you could just run the banner, right? You can run the banner. The banner is really helpful. It's going to give you know, your teammates also a spawning point. So yeah, that's the reason why we're going with these gadgets for the homie Rex Jonesy. And yeah, with Chromium, we want the hover turret just for the same reason that I said with the homie Rex Jonesy, right? Maybe we want to watch a specific spawn point. Maybe we want to, you know, let the turret do a lot of damage to a couple of husks while we're focusing on the mini boss, etc. And we have Adrenaline Rush because, yeah, it's true, even though we're going to be getting our shields, you guys do have to keep in mind that the higher level husk will be doing us, you know, will be doing to us a little bit of more damage. So we want Adrenaline Rush just in case, right? However, I was also thinking maybe Adrenaline Rush isn't really as necessary, and maybe you can just put Slow Field, because if you get overwhelmed, you can just set down the Slow Field and then sort of go back to a more defensive position and then just finish off the husks that are inside of the Slow Field really quickly as well, right? So that's also something that I wanted to point out. Overall, I'm really happy with these two loadouts. I'm probably going to try out the Chromium Ramirez one first. I'm really looking forward to the boom bow, guys. It's going to be an awesome weapon. Hopefully, if you want more information on the boom bow, the damage it's gonna do and all that, click the link in the description. Check out my previous boom bow information video, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Can't wait to get my hands on this bow and arrow, man.